Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another night of CEPTV's Late Night Hype. I am your hostess, LaShawn Smith. It is February the 27th, technically the 28th, because we are past the midnight hour, and I have a great show for you tonight. I'm actually going to be talking with one of my family members who is also a former professional not a drag racer himself, but he was the pit crew. So I'm really happy to have him on tonight, and it is my cousin Jeff Trammell. But before we get into that, I just want to greet all my CEPTV listeners and fans, those of you out there on Blog Talk, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and those of you who are going to be listening post production on iTunes. And of course, we are live streaming right now on CEPTV. Definitely want to give a shout out to my boy. If you were tuned in just a second ago, you heard the beat that is done by 350 Beats. Elroy Miles Jr. on the beat. So you know what it is. If you need a beat, hit him up, 350 Beats on social media. Hattie Mae Entertainment. You can also find them there. Tonight's sponsor, let's just go right on into our sponsors. I do want to give a shout out to the up and coming birthday boy that is My Life Entertainment, Quentin Miles. My Life Entertainment is a movement of professional people in the Tri-City area that is motivated to give the Tri-City management, promotions, and marketing to any type of entertainment. We are the top project planner within the city. And we also like to work with other companies to bring networking and opportunities to the Tri-City area. The goal is to scale up the city and entertainment nightlife. So be sure to check out My Life Entertainment. You can go to www.mylifeentertainment.org. Our second sponsor of the night is Doxa. If you are looking for clean hair care that will take you away from having to use any conditioners or oils or anything like that, and you want to truly live clean and let your hair and your skin do what it's supposed to do, then you would try Doxa out for size, and you can go to that website as well, www.thedoxagene. Right here, you're looking at the newbie package, and that is definitely what you want to try if you want to turn over a new leaf in hair care, get away from all the chemicals and the surfactants by trying out Doxa. Also, we have our third sponsor is going to be Vibes. And if you listen to the show, we actually did a pre-recorded show last night, and then the live show was not last night, but last Tuesday, and then we did a replay last Tuesday, and then the live show was the Tuesday before last, because it was such good information, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it was so good information, and we, just a great entrepreneur, Eric Moore, he allowed us to get a 30% discount off of his Vibes International earbuds, and he is our third sponsor. So please make sure you go to www.internationalvibes.com and get you a pair of earbuds. And when you enter CEPTV into the checkout, you will receive an additional 30% off. So again, that's brand new earbuds. They're really nice. They have an intelligent touch feature, and you can get those for 30% off. So make sure you check those out. So if you have been tuning into the CEPTV platform for any time, you know that we are one of the very few radio podcast platforms that are directly connected with the online streaming TV network. And you can check us out at www.mycep.tv. You can actually find us streaming there now. And we have some amazing ad packages on the scene. And if you are interested in advertising and get your logo flashed in front of a movie trailer or a movie, or even on this radio show, like our sponsors we just talked about just a few minutes ago, then go ahead and hit us up on the email ceptv2019 at gmail.com. You can do the radio or again, video streams. And then we have the Media Hub coming soon, which is going to have a plethora of information, all things CEPTV, all things affiliate related, those of us, those people who are associated with CEPTV, and some great adventures that CEPTV is doing around the nation and around the community and around the world. So be sure to check that out if you would, please. If you don't know who I am your hostess, LaShawn Smith, and I am the founder of CEPTV Networks, and working along with some brilliant minds behind the scenes, and looking to collaborate with many more along the way. It is an independently owned African American streaming network, so be sure to come and grow with us. I'm sorry, having a little camera trouble. All right. Yes, so be sure to come and grow with us. We are booked up for the month of February. Well, this is the end of February. I'm sorry, March and April is just about booked up. We've gotten so much positive response since the last event that we went to, which was last weekend. I'm going to speak about that in a little bit, that we've had to open up our show for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it won't just be Tuesdays anymore. It's also going to be on Thursdays as well. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we'll get a little bit more stable as we grow. On some Tuesdays, I will be in Atlanta. So it may be kind of alternating Tuesday, Thursday. Not really sure at this point, but we know we have a lot of content to put out. CEPTV stands for Creatives, Entrepreneurs at Play TV. And, this is the last show that's going to close out the month of February, which is Black History Month. So we definitely had to do something really nice for you all. And that's why we wanted to get Jep Trammell on here so you can get a taste of Black history, real live in the making. And just very excited to have him on. So, if you're looking to definitely stream some creative content that you just about won't find anywhere else, or if you're looking for beautifully curated content on, a streaming service, original productions, and you want to support the endeavors of many African Americans who are, getting it out there, getting it done, and getting some original content on CEPTV, please, please, please support the network. And it is only $1.99 per month to gain access to all of the content, but we do have a lot of free content in the catalog as well. Past events. Last weekend was one of the most amazing experiences that I have had since I started CEPTV. I got to hang out with Audrey and Brian McGee, the founders of the Atlanta Creators Conference, David Tolliver, Michael Mitchell, who is the owner of another streaming network called Experience on Demand, which I do recommend you check that out. Michael Campbell of Bob TV, Adrian Meeks, who's an artist developer and also has streaming, and then Maurice Leggett, serial entrepreneur and former NFL player for the Chiefs and the Lions. Tony Terry was the R&B singer. I really don't even have to tell you. He's such a wonderful and renowned singer. Michael Williams, who is the godfather of comedy. That was like crazy. And Mr. Richardson, who is the inventor and creator of some of the most amazing teas that I ever tasted in my life. Also, Mark Simon was there, who is one of the most renowned storyboard artists in the land, and so many more. Like, I could go on and on and on about how many amazing people that I met at the event. It was just fantastic. So if you are interested in that, all the names that I just rattled off, this is going to be a yearly event. And if you are interested in that, please make sure you email the Atlanta Creators at gmail.com to learn more about the event and find out who is going to be on the lineup next year. I also got to join some of those same people, myself and 10 Carat. We got to go to last Tuesday, which was the day before yesterday. We got to go to Atlanta and check out the Who's Got That Vibe show. It is live every Tuesday, and Cafe 290, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. So make sure you go check that out as well. And it's a small cover to get in, but very well worth it. events and happenings to come. Oh, first of all, I want to say shout out to Carol and thanks Dave Tolliver for the gracious invite and welcome. Thursday, March the 6th, 2020 at 10 p.m. I want you guys who are local to the Columbus, Georgia area to pull up to the streets the streets to the stage show. Big Q, who is Quentin Miles, once again will be celebrating another year of life, and we are going to absolutely turn up. There's going to be some awesome performances from local and surrounding entertainment. So, those of you who are in the Columbus area and surrounding areas, come and support local talent right here in the community or in a neighboring community. You know, Columbus, Georgia, being the third largest city in Georgia, we definitely have a thriving music industry. So let's take advantage of the local connections as well as the far and wide connections. Hey, Ivan, what's going on? So also coming up in June 2020, June 13th, 2020, the Columbus Hip Hop Awards will be live and in full effect. And we will be at the Trade Center. And we are looking for a few more sponsors, but everything is secured and locked down. What we want to do is make sure this event is free to the public. So that's what the sponsorships are for. And so we have a few more to go, and I'll be reaching out to some people. But if you're interested, you can email me at ceptv2019@gmail.com. I promise you the whole city will have their eyes on you because it's going to be a huge, huge event. And again, I'm happy to be a part of it. There's going to be a gold carpet event and performances with over 40 awards being given, and an event where all local radio stations are coming together. So if you are a local or non-local music talent, we have a few more slots open for performances for the gold carpet performance. We invite you to our city to show us what you have. Big names to be announced that will be in the building. And again, this is brought to you by My Life Entertainment, as well as CEPTV, as well as other sponsors. And you, if you know somebody who is local, you can cast your vote for the category and get them nominated. And I believe nominations are actually almost up now. So with that being said, head on over and go to www.mylifeentertainment.org and cast your vote. Okay. Also in June, you can meet me in the Carolinas the following week for the 2020 Black Truth Festival. And that is going to be hosted by Mel Williams with City Girls Entertainment and co-sponsored by CEPTV, as well as other businesses in the area and also nationwide who are going to be a part of this event. And we are so happy. This is going to be one of those events that, you know, African Americans get to use their skill and their prowess and their talent to tell the story about us. Like, we should be the ones telling the story about us. So this is so important. So make sure you at least find out about film festivals in your area. Columbus, Georgia actually has a Thrive Film community as well. So I'm going to be getting more involved with that as well. So, but I will, for this particular event, I will be in the Carolinas. I believe this one is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's where I will be for that event. So make sure you check that out. Anyway, I am very proud of my homegirl, 10, who has launched her show Nope or Dope, and this is for the Dope Artist Retrospect. So if you are a music artist, it does not have to be rap or hip hop. You can send your music to onenopeordope@gmail.com, and you can get your music played on the Dope Artist Retrospect and have it reviewed, and people will tell you if they like it or, you know, if it needs work or whatever. It's not, you know, so be sure to check that out. CEPTV, also in conjunction with My Life Entertainment, will launch a show called Exposure, and more details on that coming soon. That's definitely in the works. Also, Girls, Guys, and Comic Live has made a small debut into the social media world. And this will be a show where a panel of 4 to 6 guys and girls, different combinations at different times, will get together and review and talk about indie comic books, cosplayers and all kinds of stuff all over the world. So be sure to check that out as well. Very excited about that. And if you are interested, or if you are a comic book fan, then please make sure you reach out to me, because we are lining up content as we speak. Again, that's the same email address, and that's ceptv2019@gmail.com for any inquiries, if you'd like to be on the show, if you have content or any of the like. Also LVAMU, which is LaShawn's Voice Acting Micro University. That is LVAMU. It's going to start accepting enrollees. Okay, got that there. It's going to start accepting enrollment on the end of March, which is the 31st of March. So if you are looking to hone another skill, which is voice acting, or, doing commercials or anything like that, or you want to start making your own voiceovers for your own projects, I will be teaching you for absolutely free how to hone that skill and talent. So be sure to check that out. LVAMU. We'll get some links up shortly. And we'll have some links up on the site. So be sure, if you are following me over at CEPTV, then you will definitely have access to that information. So I know most people are used to me being on Tuesday, so it is a really, really slow night tonight. So I'm used to everybody kind of being up with me on a Tuesday night. Normally I have lots more likes and watchers. Right now it's a little bit slower tonight because this is the first Thursday. But again, I wanted to make sure I closed out Black History Month very properly. And so that's why I'm doing the show and expanding it to Tuesdays and Thursdays as we watch our audience grow. So for those of you who are hanging out with us right now, thank you so very much. And let's see what we got next. Again, LVAMU is a 90-day course. And again, it's free of charge. For more information, you can go to www.mycep.tv or email ceptv2019@gmail.com. And you'll get a response within 48 hours. Other than CEPTV Network Filmmaker News, I'm pretty sure you all have heard that Jordan Peele is directing a revamp of the movie Candyman, and it is all over social media. I'm not really a fan of scary movies per se, so I haven't looked at the trailer yet. Scary movies just aren't my thing, but I would love, if once it comes out, I would love to hear you guys' opinion on it. I am a fan of Jordan Peele because I like the way his mind thinks, and he's a little bit different when it comes to the way he puts his information out and puts it in the movie. So yeah, so if you're gonna be checking that out, just make sure you let us know. We don't want a spoiler, but we will talk about it in a later show. We do have some new shows on the way, and I am so excited for March. If you haven't for February, make sure you check out The Ignorant Noodle. Make sure you check out Crave Chicago, and make sure you check out the awesome movie of Betrayed by King Brick Films, Jamick. Yeah, these are some great movies, and I want you all to check them out. And we have some new shows on the way for March. We did push back Darkest Death release to March. We just couldn't get together to collaborate quickly enough to get the promos and everything out. So we pushed that back to March. So that's going to be Darkest Death, going to be released in March. We got The Prodigal Wife that's going to be premiering in March, and Ocean to Plate with Colin White will be streaming in March. And this one you guys are going to love. It's basically where, a guy, he goes into the ocean and he catches his food, and he's a chef. So he not only catches his food, but he also cooks it for you on the show the same day. So these are going to be some amazing shows. And we got some preview from the works of D.L. Moffat. And again, much more coming soon. And don't forget, very soon in April, CEPTV will be going to cable. So please be ready for that. That's going to be very exciting. The good thing about that is, if you have a particular program that you want to watch, this is going to be linear. This is going to be linear cable. So, it will be on a time slot. So it's kind of good because if you know that something is coming on, that at 5 o'clock or whatever, then you just tune in to CEP TV and you can catch that show that you were looking for. And this is junior internet cable, but it is cable nevertheless. So we're going to take baby steps until we get to exactly where we want to be. Also, be sure to continue to support Bring Back Our Children. That is a video program by Tawanda Graves, and she also does a lot of advocacy through her media aggregator tactics. Right now, she is working on a case for Amaya, and Amaya was hit by a school bus, and she has not received justice. So we are getting signatures for that and calling some attention. Oh, sorry. Goodness gracious. I'm not used to the Thursday nights yet. But we are calling some attention to the injustices that have been perpetuated on this young lady. So please make sure you check that out. Also, she has a t-shirt company, Tees and Accessories. So check that out and please support. And she does have an app coming very soon. So there's going to be lots of information on that as well. Again, thank you so much to our supporters. The emails have been coming in and the show is expanding again, like I said, to Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we may even have a physical location that if you are in the Atlanta area, we'll do a remote show up in Atlanta. And some of those shows will be pre-recorded and some of them will be live. So it'll be definitely a sweet mix and a combination of several different formats. That way we can spice it up and, give more content as per needed. Last week's show, again, was Vibes International, Eric Moore. And I want you all to make sure you go there. And let me type this in because you can get 30% off of a brand new pair of earbuds. That is www.internationalvibes.com. And when you go there, enter the code CEPTV, and that will get you 30% off of those earbuds. So make sure you check that out and support our sponsors because it really is important to the show. So without further ado, I am going to take a quick break. And we will hopefully get our guest on really soon. And because I know he's in another time zone. And I'm really excited to talk to Jep Trammell. And we will be right back.
Rampant drug-related crime continues to plague the Clifton Terrace area. Today, 2 young men were brutally murdered at 16th and West.
More signs today that the drug problem is getting worse.
A surprising development tonight as drug kingpin Angel is gunned down, apparently as part of the ongoing turf war in...
Peek inside a cutthroat world of drugs, money, and fast women. A world where a young man must choose his own path. Prodigal Son, a new novel from Tommy Gibbs. Order your copy from Amazon or CensoRoInc.com.
Tri-City, what's going on? It's J. King letting you know, June 13th, get ready to be at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center for the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards with performances by Antonio Armani, Texaco Marley, Hollywood 40, Rhea 706, Zach Lee, and I'm your host. It's the 2020 Tri-City Hip Hop Awards going down June 13th at 8 o'clock with the gold carpet kicking off at 5:30. We'll see you at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center, the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards.
Everyone needs a spa day, a day to relax and unwind and let someone else take care of your needs or a change. If you live in the Houston, Texas area and are ready for a spa day, you need to visit Urban Day Spa. Urban Day Spa has two convenient locations, one in Spring, Texas, and the other in the Copperfield area of Houston. Urban Day Spa have the lowest prices on massage treatments, and you never have to sign a contract. Some of their other services include facial therapies, body treatments, hydrotherapy, and much more. Urban Day Spa also have amazing packages you will love. Treat yourself or someone you care about with the Urban Day Spa. They also offer gift certificates. Visit them right now at urbandayspa.com. That's urbandayspa.com.
Welcome to CEPTV and Love Talk Radio. Anyone can subscribe and sign up. You can view all genres of content, movies, live events, TV shows, and more by African Americans and Brown Americans on CEPTV. Then listen for interviews on Blog Talk Radio. Tune in to listen now.
And we are back. Let me get this banner down. I do apologize. And we are waiting on our guests to come in. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments and you want to call into the show, you could give us a call at 646-668-8484. Again, if you've never tuned in to CEP TV, normally our shows are on Tuesdays, but because we have been having so much content, we extended to Thursdays. And this is going to be a transition for us and probably YouTube because, we have a lot of people that are used to us coming on Tuesdays, and we didn't do a Tuesday live show this week. We did a show just simply on the radio and not through live stream. So, it's definitely going to be a transition for us. And definitely still cool anyway, either way it goes. But anyway, you can call into the show live right now, 646-668-8484. If you have any questions about CEPTV, if you want to talk about streaming, if you want to talk about filmmaking, movie making, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or if you want to be on the show and you have anything interesting to talk about, you can definitely give us a call as well. So again, we have lots and lots of time left. Again, this is again a new night, kind of last minute decision to go ahead and stream on Thursdays, but that's okay. We've had this happen before where I guess confused the time or was late or something happened, and it happens. It's live TV, so you have to learn how to roll with it, So that's just the way that it goes. But anyway, I want to elaborate a little bit more on the new shows that we have coming up in March. We have some amazing content creators. We have Tonda Bohannon and Stephanie Emmett, who are out of Dayton, Ohio with the Prodigal Wife. And we don't have a date yet for that premiere, but it will be probably the first week of March, and it will probably run all the way until the summer. So we are very excited about that. And then also Darkest Death was pushed back from a February release because we wanted to run some promotions for that first. And there was a lot of time conflicts and we weren't able to do that. So we will be releasing that. If you don't have the app already, please make sure you download that. Android users, you can download that. If you look into your Play Store, it's going to be CEP TV streaming. Again, that's CEP TV streaming. You can find that app and download it. It will be very convenient for you to see what the latest uploads are, what the latest movies are. Hey, Erica. Okay, you said Tommy G wrote a great book. Tommy G, who is Tommy G? Elaborate on Tommy G a little bit more for me. I don't think I'm familiar with Tommy G, unless you're talking about Candyman, because I have only seen the older version. But everybody seems to be really, really interested in the new version that Jordan Peele has coming out. So what does everybody think about the Fury fight? You know, I have been kind of loosely following that scenario on social media. And man, I think he made a correct analysis. When somebody is doing really good, we stand behind them 100%. And this is sort of the mentality that's been adopted over the years. But then when somebody fails at something, we kind of tend to take on a mentality and we turn on the person. So as soon as he lost, all the memes start showing up all over the internet, and of course the bloody lip pictures and things of that nature. And he seemed to be pretty hurt by it, but at the same time expecting it at the same token. And then I was listening to Laugh Out Loud. I think it was Laugh Out Loud Radio, or maybe another Sirius XM radio show, and they were saying, that the first time Fury fought the guy that he won against the last time, he was out of shape. He had just came out of retirement. He was overweight, and their opinion was, well, one of the hosts' opinion was that he should have, kept the win and not done the rematch or whatnot. And maybe it was a money thing, like we really don't know. But then there was some comments about, Fury was blaming the suit being too heavy and, other things. But, it still doesn't negate the fact that, you stand behind somebody and you say that's the person that, I want to see win. And then when they lose, we turn on them. So, that's the thing about, having a lot of people waiting on you to succeed so then they can come and congratulate you or ask you for something. But when you do something and you don't do very well, or you fail the first time around, the same people who would be possibly the same people to ask you for something will be the first people to make fun of you or laugh at you or, point out your failures or anything like that. So, that's just the way it goes. So you have to build up a tolerance for things like that, especially when you're in entertainment, when you're in sports, and even as you can see right now, live radio, sometimes things don't turn out the way we plan, and we just have to roll with it anyway. Um, Also, we can talk some more about the Columbus Hip Hop Awards. That is going to be an extremely exciting event. And like I said, there's going to be 43 performances, over 40 performance. Not 40 performances. There's going to be over 40 awards given out for that. And, you know, there's going to be, I want to say 7 to 10 performances during the show. And then, of course, you're going to have the gold carpet. So if you are going to be anywhere remotely near the Columbus, Georgia area, I would be definitely happy to see you. I'll be somewhere running around behind the scenes or even doing media interviews for CEP TV. So again, make sure you come to the event. And that is, again, June the 13th. 2020. It's going to fall on a Saturday. I believe that's the Saturday before Father's Day. So we'd love to see you down in the area. There's going to be some events that precede the main event, which is going to be the night before, probably going to be at Martin's or another local venue to kind of celebrate and hopefully bring the community together a little bit more as we come together for the actual event on that Saturday. So that's what that's going to be all about. I did a thing today, this week. I actually upgraded my software, and I don't know about anybody else, but I edit with Sony Vegas, and I upgraded my hardware and upgraded to a Blackmagic camera. So I will be shooting some short films this summer. I also will be doing some videos this summer and getting back on my editing grind. And then, of course, if anyone who is on my timeline has seen the casting call that I announced that I will be doing. I'm going to be doing some radio TV shows, and I'm really excited about that. So basically, radio TV, when you think about that, you could think about, you remember the concept of War of the Worlds that was back in the day, and it was a TV show, but it was on the radio. So I'm going to be doing some things like that. They're going to be in 7-minute increments with commercials, well, 7 to 12-minute increments. And I already have some storylines written out. I just got to finalize the scripts and then cast the people. So we'll be doing some casting calls probably at the beginning or maybe mid-spring. So I'm really excited about that, to have my own production, to get some writing credits going on. And you never know who might be listening to the show, because it's going to be great. It's a storyline that I have never heard of before. But and then not only am I hoping that there'll be some comedy elements, or you'll get my style of comedy, or my in combination with my style of drama, there's also going to be some learning tools in there, so you can learn a certain skill set. So when I try to do a project, I always try to make it so you can benefit or take something away from it some type of way. So this show is going to be not only a drama / comedy, hopefully comedy. This is going to be my first time doing a comedy, but it will also touch on, again, some skills, some viable skills that you might be able to take and learn from. So that is always my hope, that, anything that I put out will be profitable or beneficial. If you want to call live into the show, I'm going to keep on saying it until either somebody sends me a message and dialogues with me on the messaging, or calls into the show. We can talk about anything tonight. I'll be here for a little while. Looks like our guest isn't going to show up tonight. And hey, like I said, it's live radio. Sometimes, things like this happen. And so you got to learn how to improvise and roll on and keep it rolling. But the number is 646-668-8484. If you are joining me on social media, you can see the number scrolling across the screen, and you can call in at any time during the live show. If you are watching in post-production, you're probably going to be laughing just like me, but it's okay though. Again, it's live. And this is the first Thursday that we've ever been on. So, the audience and the views are probably going to be a lot lower than what we have on our regular Tuesdays. But again, it's exciting. It's new. We're expanding. We're growing. And we're not going to, let anything slow us down or stop us. So that's pretty much how that's going to be. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to listen to one of my favorite songs, which is going to be They Can't Talk But We Can by Ron and the Indie Singers. And we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come right back. And if you want to call in and be on the show tonight, you're more than welcome. Once again, 646-668-8484. Again, that's 646-668-8484. Join me on the show tonight. I was supposed to have a guest. Didn't work out. Something probably happened, miscommunication. There's so many things that could happen. Emergency, you just never know. We're not going to dwell on it. We're going to continue to have our show. We're going to continue to talk about some interesting topics. And but for the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, a quick music break, and we will be right back.
Born unable to crawl, taking my first step. Born unable to pull myself up, achieving my first dream. Born unable to make the sound of a voice, speaking my first word. No kids across the world can say you're hurting me. Can't you see it in my face? Don't pick me up to throw me down. I wanna talk, but there's no time. When you hear me cry, don't shut me out. That's my way of saying you're hurting me. Wanna like a love with me, police brutality, abusing when using, the authority amongst the majority of us minorities must make opportunity to survive financially in this land they call free. We can talk, but we can't talk. We got to fight and stand up for the right. We can talk, but we can't. We got to fight and stand up for the right. When you see the changes they can make in their life, you will feel the power from the joy that's inside. I'm a change immunity to protect the ones we need, to make them pay for what they've done. The power of authority. Special needs are being abused all across the land. Just make a plan, no matter what the circumstance. If you stand for the right, the power of the fight. Connect and join in hand. Spread the word that we've been together. We can talk. Can't talk, but we can. When you stand up for that right, they can't talk. They can't talk. We can. Stand up for the right. We will fight. So let me give you a rundown of life. It's bound to stab you deeper than a knife. You got these kids getting abused by the adults who can't defend themselves. They hit with belts and they can't talk, so you don't know what's going on. But you can look in their eyes and tell something is wrong. The pain, the tears, been abused for many years, and it's not your child, so you don't really care. There's a lot of great teachers who would take a stand against abuse by another teacher's hand. They will fight for what is right. They will stand against the accused and tell it for the sake of stopping abuse. We can talk, but we can't. We can't talk. We got to fight, no, and stand up for. We can't talk. We can't talk, but we can't. We can't talk. We got to fight and stand up for.
Take it and taking it was never picture perfect. Now the looks upon our faces will show you how so corrupted this system is self-destruction. But I say be scared of nothing. Just fight to be better beings, cause violence ain't the key. Cameras in the class will stop the abuse. It will protect the teachers for being accused.
Let's fight to change the system that we have to remain. When I try to be abused, and it seems it's so you. We can talk, but we can't. We got to fight and stand up for the right. We can talk, but we can't. We got to fight and stand up for the right. We gotta fight, stand up for. We gotta stand up for. We can talk. We got to fight and stand up for their rights. We can talk, but we can't. We got to fight and stand up for. We got to fight. We can talk, but we can't. Put your hands together. We got to fight and stand up for. We got to stand right for their rights. We can talk, but we can't. We got to fight and stand up for their rights.
All right. And we are going to come back into the live show, because, I was just looking at the data. Oh, hey, Theo. So, or TJ. So basically, yes, the vibes, you still can get the 30% off discount. And all you got to do is go to www.internationalvibes.com and put in CEPTV. And if it does not work, send me a message and I'll reach out to Eric to see if he can make sure that code is still working, because I've still been promoting it. So we definitely want to make sure that our word is solid, that 30% off code is being honored. And your son is going to absolutely love those headphones. I promise. I really, truly enjoy mine. They have like this intelligent touch, really cool. So, and on the show, when we talked last week, he said that he was working on some that were like 100% waterproof. So that's going to be interesting to see what comes of that. So, the show tonight is about Jeff Trammell. He's my cousin. Again, I'm not sure what happened, why he's not here, but it is Black History Month nevertheless, right? And like I told you all earlier, my cousin has made history in the drag racing. And if you Google his name, because CEPTV puts out such great SEO when we do our shows, and that's just kind of a little shameless plug for CEPTV Late Night Hype Show. When you put your name in, or when you put, like now that I put my cousin's name in, CEPTV Late Night Hype Show comes up. So because of this, I want to make sure that we honor him by talking about him on the show and some of his accomplishments. So if you Google his name, you can see some of the things that he's done. He has been a part of Gray Motorsports crew, with the NHRA Pro Stock, and he made history in Charlotte. And whoever Line is, I guess that's the gentleman that races the cars. And these are all questions that I was going to ask, but he made history in Charlotte. I don't know what year that was. It might have been 2016, or this was just something that was written in 2016. But I know, my mom was telling me how awesome it was that we had a cousin that she thought it was NASCAR. But when I messaged him and asked him about being on the show, he explained that there's a difference between, of course, drag racing, traditional drag racing, and also thanks, TJ. I just seen your message. I have to make sure I'm on that screen, when you're engineering and doing it at the same time. It's can be a little hectic. But yeah, so, he has done so many great things in the drag racing world, and being an African American, I don't think there's like a whole lot of accomplishments. And so one of my biggest questions was going to be to him, what types of barriers are there to entering into, being a pit crew member? There's a young lady who I just recently connect with who owns the truck line in the drag racing now, and she's actually celebrating a birthday, and I'll hopefully be talking to her pretty soon. Her name is Melissa LeBron, and she is in the NASCAR arena as well. So, we've invited her onto the show, and she's accepted that invitation. We just haven't set a solid date yet. So I'm really excited about that. But I want to know, I wanted to know like what type of barriers are there when it comes to African Americans getting into NASCAR. We do have African American drivers in NASCAR. We do have a female African American driver in NASCAR, but we don't hear a whole lot about them. And those are some of the things that I'm interested in and wanted to see if he had insight about. But the fact that, he's made history is just so amazing that, I have, blood relative of somebody who has such a love for cars that they will find a career as a drag racer. I've had Montel Dixon on the show earlier, was that last year or earlier in the year, but he did the Dirty South Grudge documentary, which is also going to be on CEPTV. very soon, by the way. And we're going to get that whole lineup on there so you can see all the documentaries with permission exclusively from Montel. So you'll be able to see that category without all the distractions that are on, other networks or whatever. It'll be in a nice catalog. So you'll be able to see the Dirty South Grudge documentary collection on CEPTV, not exclusively, and that's okay, but you'll be able to see it on CEPTV. So if you have the Android app, or you could just go to the www.mycep to see it there. So there's a professional side, and then there's a street side. So you have Montel, who does the street side, who covers the footage of the street side. And I highly encourage you to go look at the Gang documentary on CEPTV. I'm telling you, that's probably one of the best documentaries on drag racing. It really made me fall in love with drag racing in a way that I never thought that I could. And it gave me a perspective on it, because I've always had a love and respect for cars, which is why when I moved down here to Columbus, Georgia, I immediately went to school to get my ASC license. I didn't graduate, but I learned enough about cars to where if someone were to tell me something, were up with my car, I would be able to call foul or call BS if if they were making something up on me. And a lot of the information I've kind of forgotten over the years. This was back in 2010, so we're talking 10 years ago, but there's still basic fundamentals that you never forget when it comes to, cars. If something is wrong with your car, it's going to be one of three things. It's going to be fuel, fire, or air. So if something with one of those three elements is missing with your car, you're not going to have a good running car. And of course, then you have the cosmetics such as your tires. But of course, that is included in air, because if your tires don't have air, you're not going anywhere either. So it still falls into the rules. Learned about the different type of smokes that come out of the car. You can have black smoke, white smoke, or gray smoke, and what types of problems those different smokes can, be caused by. So just having someone in my family that has made a career off of that, and being a pit crew, and winning trophies and doing such amazing things around the world or around the nation with that is awesome. Again, he taught me the difference that the NASCAR is not the same as drag racing. I had no clue. I didn't do a whole lot of research into it, because those were the questions that I was going to ask, and that's okay. Also, if you go to his Twitter, you can see some of the videos that are up on there, some of the cars that he's worked on throughout the years. You can see his driver, and I do know from talking with him that his father was a driver, and we're related on my mother's side. I believe he and my mother are cousins, so that makes us cousins as well. And I don't know a whole lot about the Trammell side of the family. They do live in Alabama. I believe most of them do live in Alabama, but my grandfather, who is the male archetype on that side of the family, who is still alive, and he lives out in Las Vegas right now. So there is a lot. So we definitely want to honor Jep Trammell, even though he couldn't be with us tonight on the show, and just give him his props for paving the way for people like us. So if we, he set a precedence for us that if, we should never limit what we want to do to the status quo. If there's something out there that you want to do, you get your skill level up, or you go get the education required, or now is the time that we can jump on YouTube and pretty much learn whatever we want to. So there's no excuses. And my cousin didn't have access to that. He learned from his father's love for racing how to work on cars, and he was able to capitalize on that. I don't know what kind of education he has other than that, but by his father being a racer, then we know that's where the influence started, or we can assume that that's where the influence started. So again, if you Google Jep Trammell, you're going to see a lot of things come up, and also this show. So we wanted to make sure that we, speak on the subject matter, because that's what the show is all about tonight anyway. But at the end of the day, CEP TV is all about honoring you all and giving you all a place to tell your stories the way that they should be told, because it's your story to tell. It's not for any other culture to tell your story. It's your ship. You build it, you sell it, you steer this thing by the helm. And that's what CEP TV is here for. So no matter what, win, lose, or draw, we have I made a verbal promise that CEPTV would be here for those people who feel like, they have to start up here. When I went to the conference last weekend, I was able to tell some major players in the game some things that I thought about the industry. And, you know, I believe, well, I've kind of set a precedence or kind of put it out there in the atmosphere that we should call them tiered streaming networks. If I'm a tiered streaming networks, then Netflix would be at the top, which would be the apex, because that's where everybody's trying to go. And then, of course, CEPTV would kind of be on one of the lower tiers because we're just starting out. But you have to start from somewhere. And I will never be ashamed of humble beginnings. I promise you, I will never be ashamed of humble beginnings, because we have to set a precedence for those that come behind us and those who, look at the legacies that we leave behind. So again, win or lose, we're going to keep on pushing this thing out. And if you want to call into the show, go ahead and do just that. The number is 646-668-8484. Again, that's 646-668-8484 to call into the show. If you want to talk about CEPTV, if you want to talk about something that you have going on, non-CEPTV related, or, really, we definitely want to talk to you about what you have going on, because that's what we're here for. Most of you who are listening or watching are probably in the Columbus, Georgia area. So we have a lot of commonalities. And then there's a lot of you who are watching from other locales. We have people watching all over the world. We have a lot of people watching in Europe. We have a lot of people watching in India. And we even have some people in Africa watching. So the show is growing, and that is all thanks to you guys for hanging in there with us. Again, I'm going to ask for the sale, just like I did the last time. If you would, please go to CEPTV and subscribe. It's only $1.99 a month. That is the cost of a soda. And you can see all of the content as it comes in on CEPTV. Of course, we are streaming live on CEPTV right now as we speak. So not only can you see us on Facebook, we're multi-streaming there too, as well as Periscope and YouTube. So that's what we're trying to do, TJ. We are trying to blaze a trail, and nothing's going to stop this train. I tell you what. So, everybody who's tuning in, I know there's a lot of people hopping on, hopping off, but, every stream counts. And I appreciate y'all for this, coming in, hanging out with me on this impromptu Thursday night show, which usually we run every Tuesday. But we are going to go ahead and go forward with scouting out a location in it. Well, going to talk to our partner about using his remote location in Atlanta. That way we can kind of be close to our associates and colleagues who are up in Atlanta too. So I can't wait to go up there and make those connections and foster those relationships up there as well, because it's very important. So sometimes, you have to start something, and then if somebody likes what you started, they may help you out, or they may give you a plug, or whatever the case may be. But that's what it's all about, reaching back and helping somebody else up to where you might be. But like I was saying earlier, CEPTV is basically so people don't have to rent a $13,000 to have your movie on a streaming network anymore. There's a lot of people in some of the filmmaker groups that I know are also starting streaming networks. And if you're smart about it, you would not be exclusive unless somebody is paying you to be exclusive. But as more people break into the industry and realize, hey, this is something that I can do too, that's great. But what's going to happen, and what I was told at the conference, and it makes a lot of sense, places like Netflix are going to keep on raising the bar and raising the bar, because again, you have to be able to shoot with the camera that costs $13,000 to even your film to even qualify to be on Netflix. And yeah, there's some places that you can rent them. You can rent those cameras online, and you can get insurance on them. Lord forbid you drop them or anything like that, but it will be covered. But yeah, $13,000 camera, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But you know what? I know what I do have right now, and I'll start with that, and then I can still get on a streaming network regardless of what type of camera that I have. And that's one of the tricks of the trade. Also, we have to learn how to work with what we have. Right now, I'm editing with Sony Vegas. People tell me to use Final Cut Pro, but a good friend of mine who also edits with Sony Vegas has edited for people like Wiz Khalifa and other celebrities and hip hop artists. And he agrees with me when he says that Sony Vegas Pro actually gives you more freedom than the Final Cut Pros and things of like that. And feel free to call into the show and debate me on that. You know, I love tech talk. I don't know everything, but there's some things in Sony Vegas, and actually there's movies that have been, you know, feature films that have been edited with Sony Vegas, and that's exactly why I chose Sony Vegas, because of for me, it was easy to learn on. But if you learn on one platform, you can pretty much cross translate that skill onto, you know, another platform as well, because once you learn some of the shortcuts, they're pretty much universal. And so I encourage you, if you're interested in anything like that, go ahead and shoot some films, shoot some movies, learn how to write scripts. That's exactly what I'm doing. I don't know everything, but I'm out here, you know, learning just like you are. And then the opportunity is still there, no matter how amateur you are. This is all about opportunity. They did at the conference, they also asked about quality, the quality of films, you know, on the streaming network, because I got to sit on a panel right next to Dominic Mitchell, Adrian Meeks, and Mr. Michael Campbell, and they all own streaming networks. They own streaming networks as well. Hey, Jared. And you know, Michael Campbell, who is the owner of Bop TV, he said, you know, the same thing. It's about quality. It's not about quality, it's about opportunity. And so that's what it's all about. So if you are breaking into streaming or filming and you want a home, then you come to places who offer you a home. And, you know, with platforms like mine, it's pretty much quid pro quo, because it's all about the opportunities for both of us. The opportunity for me to build the home and house content, beautiful content. I feel it's beautiful content because it's people who are learning and growing just like me. And there's a pureness in that. Because when we, you know, sometimes we tend to be a little haughty when we get to certain levels, you know, and that's not always the case. I'm just saying, you know, never be ashamed of humble beginnings. That's all I'm saying. If you want to call in and talk to me about anything film related, CEPTV related, non-CEPTV related, whatever you have going on, you can call into the show live right now, 646-668-8484. Again, that's 646-668-8484. My name is LaShawn Smith. I am your hostess tonight. And thanks to y'all for hanging in with us tonight. Again, this is the first Thursday show. This is the Black History Closeout show, and we are honoring my cousin who has made history as an award-winning pit crew member for, I think he's been on more than one team, but it is Gray Motorsports, and that's Gray Motorsports. So what I'm going to do right now is Google Gray Motorsports. Yep. Trammell. So you can also reach out to Jep on Twitter and find out more about him there. And that's JEPPO917 at Twitter. I'm going to post that at JEPPO917. And that's his Twitter handle. If you want to find out more, because he has lots of pictures posted on there, some of the cool cars that he's gotten to work on. And yep, you can see him listed under Gray Motorsports. And it looks like I have some other cousins who dote on cousin Jep. And there's like articles on here, dragracing24.com. You can see an article right up on my cousin Jep. And then you can see Tanner Gray, which I believe may be one of the the drivers, I don't know, but you can see a congratulations to something that was done in 2018, and his name comes up under there. And then you could go to dragzine.com, and he's mentioned in that magazine as well. So there's a lot of mentions of my cousin making history, doing his thing in the drag racing arena. And again, I want to give shouts out to Montel Dixon, who is doing his thing on the other end of the drag racing in the kind of like the private sector. And that kind of really tuned my eyes into the awesomeness and the adrenaline rush of what can be drag racing. And we have some places here locally in Columbus, Georgia. I'm sorry, around Columbus, Georgia, that a lot of those events are held. So, that's what it's all about. So I do thank y'all so much. I was able to pretty much talk almost a whole hour and keep this thing going. So I'm quite proud of myself. Again, this is the first Thursday that we've had. And if you go back and listen to the show, there's a lot of information about what's going on with CEPTV, a lot of the events that we're going to be at. So if you want to join us at any of those events, please, 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 we definitely welcome you 100% to any of those events that, you may want to hang out with us there. And, if you're interested in being on the show, you can email us at ceptv2019@gmail.com. If nothing else, it'll definitely get you some good SEO for your brand, get you out there, let people know who you are, what you're all about, what type of business you're doing, because we here at CEPTV, we root for the underdog. That's what we do, because everybody wants to talk to the people that made it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to talk to the people that made it too, so I can learn how they made it, or kind of pull different tips and tricks of, what they use to fortify their resolve along the way as they became who they were, or, if they're coming out of the main thing that they did, how did they transition into something else? That's always important to know. Like, how do you keep going? How do you reinvent yourself when you've done something for so long and you don't want to get stuck, and you still want to add the streams of income, and you still want to, stay encouraged and stay relevant? So those are all the things that I love to learn from my guests. Pretty much everyone that I've talked to on here, I've learned something from. And one a very awesome quote that I saw the other day, if you are doing something that you don't change, you're choosing to do that. So we definitely want to change our bad habits so that we can transform into the person that we really want to be, and start hitting those goals. One of the goals, and I don't really do resolutions or anything, so I don't get into that beginning of the year stuff, because it's kind of, I don't know, I don't think we really ever do. Excuse me. I don't think we ever really do right by ourselves when we make those types of faddish resolutions. But you know, what thing are you proposing to change for yourself so you can be the person that you want to be? Whether it's exercising or eating right, or making more sales calls than you did the day before, or the year before, or the month before. What goals are we setting to accomplish being the better person that we want to become? So that's what it's all about. Again, before I close out the show, I'm going to open up the lines one more time: 646-668-8484. If you want to call in and talk, 646-668-8484. If you want to call and talk. It looks like, I think what's happening is, I think we had a time discrepancy because I'm on Eastern time, and I think my cousin is on maybe Central time. Maybe, I'm not really sure, but yeah. So it happens, but we just got to keep rolling on. But anyway, for those of you who have tuned into the show, thank you so much. I'm going to go to another quick commercial, and we're going to get ready to close out the show. So thank you all for tuning in, and we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with some closing comments, and reschedule this show for another time.
Tri-City, what's going on? It's J. King letting you know, June 13th, get ready to be at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center for the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards, with performances by Tonio Armani, Texaco Marley, Hollywood 40, Rhea 706, Zach Lee, and I'm your host. It's the 2020 Tri-City Hip Hop Awards, going down June 13th at 8 o'clock, with the gold carpet kicking off at 5:30. We'll see you at the Columbus Convention and Trade Center, the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards.
Like what you hear so far? Be a guest or sponsor a show or film title on www.myceptv. With a growing number of listeners and viewers, you can be a part of our legacy because you are that legacy. To find out more about how to submit content or be a guest or sponsor a show, email us at ceptv2019@gmail.com or visit www.ceptv.network.
Welcome back to the CEPTV Late Night Hype Show.
Welcome back!
Streaming live each and every Tuesday via radio, TV, and social media. Tune in live on Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube. CEPTV Network live streaming and more. For more information on how to be our next guest or for sponsorship opportunities, visit www.ceptv.network or email ceptv2019@gmail.com. Now, back to our show.
Yep, I played that too late, but that's okay. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate the hearts and the likes, and those of you tuning in on YouTube tonight with us. YouTube is a little live tonight, and Periscope is a little more of an afterthought on that platform because I don't frequent that platform that often. But also, those of you who are tuning in on CEPTV, I'll be able to look at those of you who are on CEPTV. I'll look at those numbers later. But thank you so much in advance. And of course, those of you who are on Facebook, I have some current watchers right now. So thank you for being up with us at this hour again. I think there was a time discrepancy with the time zones, possibly. So we'll see about getting, this show rescheduled. But hey, it happens. I've had this happen before, and it's not a big deal. It just, It's just one of those things. So I do thank you all for tuning in tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and close out this show. And if you all, again, if you want to be on the show, I promise you, you'll get some great SEO. If nothing else, get your brand out there, get some viewers that may not be in your, your immediate target, but a more broader target. Those of expect, but if you're in the film industry, this is definitely your target market because CEPTV is all about streaming, independent filmmakers, content creators, digital content creators, and artists, and so much more. So again, thank you all for tuning in. And without further delay, I'm going to go and create some more content for you. I do thank you so much. This has been LaShawn Smith, your hostess, and I am signing out for another edition of CEPTV, and this is the last Black History Month CEPTV for 2020, and then we go into our March 2020 edition of CEPTV next week. And I don't have my schedule with me. I do apologize, and I didn't write it into the show who our next guest is going to be, but that could be changing since we're going to have 2 shows now, or we may even just move to Thursday. So we will see how that works out. But have a good night.
Thank you for tuning in to another CEPTV Radio Network podcast production. Whether you are listening via Blog Talk, Anchor, or any of our other media outlets, we want to say thank you for tuning in. To find out more video content related to today's topic matter, please visit our streaming website at www.mycep.tv and subscribe today to see original indie movie, music, arts, crafts, and fashion, and more from African American visionaries just like you. That's www.mycep.tv. To sponsor or be a guest on our show, please email us at ceptv2019@gmail.com. Have a great night.